Hello everyone, welcome to the class of physics for class 7, and in the last class we have started with the second chapter, that is your force and pressure, and we'll be continuing with this topic, okay, that is your second chapter, force and pressure. So last time we started with the definition of rest and motion. So just revising, what is rest? When a body does not change its position with respect to the surrounding. And what is motion? A body is said to be in motion when the body changes its position with respect to the surrounding. Then we did the different kinds of motion, isn't it? The different kinds of motion, the different types of motion that we know here are random motion, translational motion, rotational motion, oscillatory motion, rectilinear motion, curvilinear motion, and circular motion. And there are other motions as well, which we will be doing later. And then we started with translatory motion. And what is translatory motion? When a body travels in a straight path is called a translatory motion. And the translatory motion are further subdivided into two types. One, a rectilinear, another one is your curvilinear. A rectilinear means when the body moves in a straight path. Okay. Curvilinear means when the body moves along a bend. Okay. When the body moves in a bend, then we call it curvilinear motion. So translatory motion are further subdivided into two. One is rectilinear, other is curvilinear. Today we will be discussing about circular and rotatory motion. I don't know about other sessions, but with class 7C, I think we've done this before. And with class 7C, I've told you that circulatory motion and rotatory motion are not same kind of motion. They are similar, but not exactly the same. So today we'll be learning, okay, about what exactly means rotatory motion and what exactly means circulatory motion. So starting up with rotatory motion. Rotatory motion means when the body rotates on a fixed axis. Okay, say you have a fixed axis over here. I'm holding this, it's a fixed axis. Now this is an axis over here and it's rotating. Now what is happening to this plane? It is rotating. Okay, it is rotating. So when it has a fixed axis, when it is fixed at a point and the other free end rotates or moves, we call it rotatory motion. Some of the examples, like the steering wheel, you've seen the steering wheel, isn't it? When the drivers drive the car, you've seen those steering wheels. So those steering wheels, they have a fixed end at the center. So this is the fixed axis, and okay, this is the fixed axis, and only this circumference, this edge of the steering wheel moves, not this. This is fixed, only the steering wheel moves, isn't it? Tires, it is fixed at this end. Okay, all the tire is fixed at this point, and only the free end it rotates, only the tire rotates, isn't it? Other examples are the blades of the fan. You know the fan, you've seen those fans, the ceiling fan or the other kind of fan. Okay, it's fixed at a point, isn't it? It has a fixed point, and the free end it rotates, it moves around the fixed axis. So that kind of motion is called rotatory motion. So how do we define rotatory motion? The spinning motion of a body about its axis is called its rotatory motion. So when the body moves, okay, when a body moves around with a fixed axis, that is called rotatory motion. The axis is a line around which a body rotates. Now some of the examples over here given are steering wheels, and we have some more examples. So rotational motion examples, some of the examples, spinning top. You've seen those tops. So when you rotate those tops, it has a, you've seen those, it has a what do you call it, axis. It has a fixed axis like this. Okay, you've seen those, the metal handle like this over there, that is your fixed axis. Okay, now Ferris wheel, the giant wheel that which you often play in the fairs. Okay, it's fixed over here, it's fixed over here, this is fixed over here. This is your fixed axis, and only the wheels, they move, isn't it? So this goes round and round. It's fixed at a point. So this is an example of rotational motion. Then you have the rotating blades of helicopter. It's fixed over here, isn't it? You can see it's fixed over here. The blades are fixed at this point, and the blades, they rotate around, isn't it? Only the blades, they rotate, not the axis. So this is an example of rotational motion or rotatory motion, and another example of the rotation of the earth. So you know very well, you must have learned this in geography, isn't it? So you must have learned this in geography, that the earth, what happens to the earth? The earth rotates on its own axis. It has a fixed axis, an imaginary line on which the earth slowly rotates. And how much time does it take for the earth to complete one rotation? 24 hours, isn't it? So there is some problem over here with the lights. So you understood what is rotatory motion. Now another kind of motion that we're going to be learning is your circulatory motion. Now what is circulatory motion, and what is the difference between rotatory motion and circulatory motion? Now circular motion means when the body moves around a circle. Okay, it doesn't have a fixed axis. It's just that the body moves around a circle. Like when you run in a track. Okay, when you are running in a track. So how do you run? You move around a circle. There's no fixed axis there, isn't it? There's nothing fixed over there. But you just move around the circle in a track. So that is an example of circulatory motion. Okay, well this is so that's your circulatory motion. Some of the example of circulatory motion is an athlete running in a track. What else would be the revolution of the earth, okay, around the sun. So how does it go? It has a fixed orbit, isn't it? The planets move around a fixed orbit. So say this is the sun and this is the planet. How do they move? They move in a circular path. They move around. They don't have to touch the sun, isn't it? They just move around a circular path. They move and they come back to the same point. Again they move around and they come back to the same point. So that is an example of circular motion. So another example of circular motion is the motion of the atoms, or we can see the motion of the electrons around our nucleus. So how does it move? So nucleus is there. The electrons would be moving around the nucleus, isn't it? I'm sure you learned this in chemistry, where the nucleus is at the center, and what is at the outside of the nucleus? Electrons, isn't it? The electrons, which is the fundamental particle of an atom, it would be revolving around the nucleus. So it will be moving in a circular path. So that is an example of circular motion. Okay. So the difference between the circular motion and the rotatory motion is the rotatory motion has a fixed axis, whereas a circular motion doesn't have a fixed axis. It just goes round. Okay. Circular motion means when the body moves in a circular path. When the body moves in a circular path. And rotatory motion means when the body moves in a circular path with a fixed axis. That is an example. That is your rotatory motion. So I hope it's clear for you to understand the difference between circular motion and rotatory motion. Okay. Since the light just went off, so we'll stop over here for today. In the next class, we'll further continue with other types of motion. Okay, so far we've just learned the different types of motion. Revising, first one is your translatory motion, which is further subdivided into rectilinear and curvilinear. Then we learned about rotatory motion and circular motion. Okay, till then, stay safe and have a good day.